Oh, there we go. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday morning. If you are not here in Metro Detroit, it is a little damp, definitely raining. Not as much fun as it could be. And driving this loaner car, of course, I do not have any of my umbrellas, which I just realized, not even the one umbrella, and that's okay. Today, a couple different things I was going to discuss. One, just kind of a couple of experiences from the week that all just compiled, and then how it affects our business or the real estate business, our team, um, and just sales in general. Second is a quick real estate market update. Market's on fire. There you go. There you go. Multiple offers everywhere. Nothing new there. Market continues to have way too few homes, way too many buyers. I don't want to say too many buyers, but more buyers than there are homes to have. Actually, this was funny. So Wall Street Journal came out with an article last week showing that in January there were 1,040,000 homes on the market nationwide. In addition to that, there were 1,450,000 real estate agents nationwide. There were actually 410,000 more real estate agents than there were homes for sale. And at the same time, I've got a half a dozen agents myself that achieved 4 or more sales that month. I've got a whole slew of agents that achieved 2 or more sales that month. Um, this is the defining moment for professionals where we're moving into the have and have nots when it comes to real estate sales, where consumers are looking at the situation and saying, okay, we're making the conscious choice that sure, anybody can throw something on the multiple listing service to help me sell it. However, not anybody has a strategy that's going to give me the highest price, provide the smoothest transaction, avoid double moves, and frankly, leave me homeless. Um, so we're in that land because I see a lot of agents nationwide that are selling, a half a dozen homes in January, yet there are 30% less homes available than number of licenses, active licenses. Um, but anyway, so this week I had a couple of stacked experiences, not necessarily all real estate related, but just very, very interesting when I was thinking about them all in a row. And kind of the difference between salespeople and great salespeople. And there is a very big difference. And I'm not just talking about real estate, I'm talking about any type of sales, right? Um, so one was a web company that had called me, and they had been bugging me for a couple of months. And I finally decided to take the call. And the guy, very nice gentleman, the guy was pushing um, a search engine optimization audit, and he was also pushing a search engine optimization as a product, right? And I said, okay, sure, we could do the audit. That's fine. It was free, whatever. And then he came back a little bit later in the week. He had done this audit with all of these things, but he had done it first off on the wrong website. He didn't research to see that we actually have 6 websites. And then when I gave him the right website, and and then look deeper at a product, come to find out that the search engine optimization company that I'm using, which is a full company out of Austin, very nice people, headed by a guy named Tony Gilbert, very nice guy. They crushed that industry specific to real estate. This guy had never actually done SEO for real estate before. And yet he wanted to charge me $99 a month and claim that he would get me on the first page of Google and all of those things. But couldn't explain how either. So that was one instance, and I understand and I respect what he was doing and saying, but it kind of made me think back to the old adage, when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. So he's got the hammer in his tool belt. He's only got the one product, and he was determined, spent 15 minutes determined to make that fit for me, whether or not it did. It wasn't important whether that fit for my needs and my business needs. What was important, and he never asked the questions to find out. What was important was that he achieved the sale, right? And I had a problem with that. It rubbed me the wrong way. Um, Second instance, I had an agent give me a call on one of our properties to see if it was available this week. And he was extremely persistent, which is great. I love that. And when I say extremely persistent, what I mean is he called me, waited 5 minutes, called me, and then waited 2 more minutes, and then called me again. I was on the other line. If you know me, one thing you know is I don't put people on hold. I don't. I focus on the conversation I'm having. God created voicemail for a reason. I can call somebody back in 20 minutes or 15 minutes, which is usually what happens. So I called him back. I'm having the conversation, like, and I said, yep, this was still available. I appreciate you asking the question before you go and show it. When are you looking to show it? And he said, oh, I'm looking to show it in about 4 hours. I said, great. And we started talking. I said, great, go ahead and set the property, set up the showing using showing time online. He said, well, I don't have that. I'm like, okay. And then he proceeds to say, well, and I don't have Real Comp, which is our multiple listings. I'm like, okay. And so I asked him, I said, where exactly are you from? And that was a good question, actually. So this gentleman was going to drive 3.5 hours to show this home to this family. 3.5 hours to show one property. And I started in on the conversation of, okay, well, tell me a little bit about what's important to this family about the area. Well, I don't know the area. I'm like, okay, have you done any research on the area? Well, no. Have you ever been to the area? No, I've never been. Okay. And then I started naming the cities around that city. And come to find out, the gentleman, again, was far more concerned with the commission check than doing a great job or finding somebody to do a great job. So that was instance number 2. Instance number 3 that happened this week is I'm talking to a seller, actually one of my past clients, and him and I are just having a nice conversation. We catching up over the last couple of years. Last kid is senior in high school this year, and his concern is if he doesn't sell and downsize now, because he's had several agents email him, mail him, call him, saying you gotta sell now, you gotta sell now, you gotta sell now. If you wait till next year, you're losing money, blah blah blah. And so we're having this conversation, and so his oldest is senior in high school. His next oldest is still at home from college doing the remote thing, but going back to college in the fall, like physically going back. So you've got 4, and they have 3 kids total. You've got 4 people living in the house. It's a right size house for the family, to be honest. It's paid off, so it's not like there's a financial stressor that they need and must sell. And so we're having this conversation, and I just asked the question, okay, where are you going next? Well, come to find out that a couple of agents had advised him to sell the home, rent for a year, and then as the market goes back down, then rebuy that smaller ranch condo. Here's the problem with this. Every economist, it doesn't matter if it's a real estate economist or not, every economist agrees the real estate market is going to go up between today and the end of the year. Not even the beginning few months, but today and the end of the year, 8%. And next year, we're looking at 5 to 7% appreciation, right? And just out of my own curiosity, I spent some time trying to tracking down and finding an economist to prove that otherwise. Could not find one. The U of M economist, which they're very, very good at real estate economics, the Yale economist, the National Association of Realtors economist, the HUD economist, I could not find anybody of any merit to say anything other than the market over the next 18 months will go up between 12 and 15%. Couldn't find anything. So the call ended with, hey, now's just not the right time, man. Let's just give it a year, feel it out. Let's see where you're at, where you and your wife are at once you become full empty nesters. See if you really need to rattle around that big house. See if we can downsize you then. Because even though you're paying a little bit more in taxes with the bigger property, you're paying a little bit more in utilities with the bigger property. The end result is 12 to 15% appreciation far outstrips any additional cost. And let's get real, the big get bigger, the small get bigger, but not at the same rate. And what I mean by that is, let's say there's just a flat 10% appreciation on a $200,000 house, that's $20,000 equity. $400,000 house, that's $40,000 equity. $600,000 house, that's $60,000 equity. We all see where this is going. So those kind of 3 instances kind of made me think of the difference between a salesperson and a great salesperson. And guys, if you're real estate agents listening to this, be cognizant of this, be better, do better. And frankly, if you're listening to this, you're on my friends list, you are being better and doing better, which I appreciate. And I appreciate you. I appreciate my friends. And if you're a consumer, think about this when you're choosing the partner to work with. And it is a partnership on your home purchase or home sale. So a good salesperson is going to tell you all of the wonderful things about their product. They're going to tell you all of the wonderful things about whatever it is. It doesn't matter to them if it fits. And that could be a house, that could be a computer, that could be a cell phone, that could be a service, anything. But they're going to explain to you why essentially you're wrong and it will not feel like a great conversation and you need this product, right? The problem with this is they're also not going to ask great questions or any questions really to see if it's a fit, right? Second, so well, yeah, actually that's first and second. So the second part of that is again, a great salesperson is going to come into something asking a whole ton of questions, right? Because they really want to get to know yourself and your needs, and does this product even fit? At the end of that call, at the end of that experience, let's call it, generally one of three things should be occurring. Either for a great salesperson, for a poor salesperson, only one thing occurs, and that's they achieve the sale and they go home, right? And then, frankly, half the time, one party's feeling good because they got the sale done. One party's feeling like, what the heck did I just sign up for? Like that just didn't feel great. A great salesperson knows that there are three outcomes. First one, they could achieve the sale, right? They could, like in real estate, what that looks like is they ask some great questions about what that family's needs are. They might match them with a great lender or a different lender with a better product for that family. They go find that property. They get it under contract. They advise them properly, again, using questions. In this multiple offer situation, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it that we get this home for you? Because sometimes it's not a 10. Sometimes this home's the 7 home or the 6 home, but it's not the 9 or the 10. So it'd be nice to have at the right price, but not necessarily one that we must win. Um, Option number two that will happen is a great salesperson can determine that they may not be a good fit for this client. They may not be able to service this client's needs at a 100% level, but they know somebody who can. They know somebody who can, right? So, as a good example of that, so far this month, our team has sent out 13 or 14 referrals. I don't remember what the list is. I need to look at that more. But effectively, two of them are in Michigan, right? Are we licensed to do business in Michigan? Absolutely. Am I going to advise one of my salespeople to drive 5 hours to a community that they don't know? No, no, that does not service the client. It actually doesn't service the salesperson either, because if you're driving a couple of hours to go show one property or two properties, and you got to do that multiple times, it's as damaging to the salesperson's family, frankly, as it is to the family who's now getting second level service because you don't know the area. You're not well versed. You don't understand that there's the city dump right behind this house, which is why it's been on the market for 3 weeks and it hasn't sold. You don't understand that there's the railroad, and you know that you can't see, but then the train comes 15 times a day, which is again why this property hasn't sold or it's so aggressively priced. Like you don't know those things, right? So two of those guys we referred out, two families we referred out. We referred to agents that will do a better job. And then third and finally is the I can't help you, right? So, like with my conversation with my past client this week, it ended with, I can't help you, right? Your goal is this. You want to maximize this investment because it's such a large part of your retirement portfolio, the equity in your home, right? And your goal dictates that you want to juice that for as much as you can. I can't help you today because your family situation is as such that you still need the room, and it would be massively uncomfortable to downsize to something 40% of the size or 30% of the size with you're working from home, your wife's working from home. You've now got two kids that are effectively well, one's back in school, but one's working from home. No, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And a great salesperson also understands versus an average one that conversation and being upfront and being honest with them, well, you might lose that one sale this year. You'll get it back next year, but it's going to also result in many more referrals because you just lived by the adage, do the right thing. Simple enough. Um, anyway, guys, that was kind of on my mind this week just because of a couple of different instances with a couple of different salespeople, not even in real estate necessarily, but that was just really interesting, the different approaches that salespeople were taking to quote unquote get the job done. When you look at the job being done and you're asking yourself, did the job really get done? Do I really need that, $99 a month SEO package when I've got, this over here? Does this realtor really need to be driving 3 hours to show properties or 3.5 hours to show properties when they can refer it to a local? Do I need to go and sell my past client's house, throw a couple of bucks in my own pocket, but frankly have the guy just mad at life for the next 6 months or whatever it is, um, because of the position they put himself in or I put him in, right? So that's it, guys. Other than that, I am about 6 minutes away from church, so I'm going to jump off. Any questions, let me know. We're always around, and make it a great day.